Well, tell them to fix these damn bugs and they can finally release it.
Right. For some reason, I wasn't recording audio, but now I am.
But now you are.
So that problem fixed. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of V-Time, episode 148. We got a very short episode, actually, if I'm looking at all this stuff correctly. Not much to talk about. We are currently in the last stretch, or technically set 7 is out, so we're just going to look at some final commons and rares and double rares and stuff like that.
Some really good double rares.
There's some really good double rares.
And triple rares, actually. I think there's a triple rare in there somewhere.
Correct. And then we're just going to talk about some other stuff, especially their days. And then that's got to be it, yeah. But before that, if you're interested in buying any cards from TCG Player, please use our affiliate link down below.
Your purchases through this link help support the channel, so bring more great videos like this straight to you guys.
And with that scripted out of the way, let's go straight into the league. Starting us with some Dragon Empire. Yeah, you take it. You're more associated with Dragon Empire than I am.
Lava Mane Wyvern. Auto Rearguard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted a Vanguard with Nirvana in its card name. Put this unit into your soul. Choose one of your rear guards with the original address, and it gets power plus 10 until the end of turn. So
I mean, this is the card we saw in the anime, right?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about this is it's use any card with Nirvana, so you can use this with the grade 4, you can use this with the original, and it uses an original address, so it doesn't have to be a crossover dress, it can be an actual overdress unit too. Very true.
I love how Nirvana got a Dober that only works behind Vanguard, while Bruce is over there going, let me just put 3 Dobers in the back row and then make you cry.
But this does help, with the new Favrnir, the crossover dress one. Gives you the soul, gives you power.
It's overall a really good card.
Only downside is it's locked behind the Vanguard, but...
the other downside is for both overdressed decks, space.
That too, yeah. Trying to find a spot for this.
Anyway, moving on. We do have some more cards to support that Nirvana deck. And oh boy, if you really want to do this could go stupid very fast.
This is an interesting one. It's Twin Blades of Slice Sorrow. It's a normal order. Play with Counterblast 2. Choose one of your rear guards with the original address, and it gets crit plus 1 until the end of turn.
So you can make a Esmeralda double critical, you can make an Expecta triple critical, you can make an Arcs double critical, or you can make one of the new ones like the Baldora effect double fucking critical.
I think the Baldora effect's the most useful one, just because, oh cool, here's a card you have to guard a 2 or more twice, it's double critical.
Not to mention the Baldora card alone, if you play it right with the right Prayer Dragon, is a 30 attacker.
Yeah. So, pretty good order. I can understand why it's CV2, but again, like you said, with the other card, finding the space for this kind of card.
I think the crossover dress is turning into a type of deck where it's like you pick one of the crossover dresses and you focus your deck around it. You either pick the Baldor and just focus around it, give it double critical, give it, more power, put 2 of them on the board and just go swinging, hitting your opponent's hand. Because then you have the CB to use stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Or you go into set 7 into the other one where it's like, okay, I'm just going to soul charge as much as possible. I'm going to retire your board. I'm going to get drive chests on my rear guards. And then that's all I'm going to do. And just focus on those 2 specifically, and that's it. And then, of course, all of them are going to throw in the shield one that brings the X-Overdress back from drop.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't think you really need to splice all of them in one deck.
You know what this card's really fun in, though? When you're on Moharm and Havana, and you have a Esmeralda, and you just... I'm going to swing for 23, double crit, and then I'm going to restand it for a stupid number and swing with it again.
Yep. Oh, yeah. But the Dragon Empire cards did not stop there. We got one more that actually does help. The Jahiva Rearguard, Soul Blast, Drive Check, Retire, Op variant.
Yes. Crush Equipped Dragon. Got a Rearguard. That. Auto, when this unit becomes an original dress, if your soul has no cards, soul charge 2.
And yes, it is a Prayer Dragon.
I'm mad at this card. Mm-hmm. One, this is a grade 1, and 2, like it's always just gonna be useful. Unlike Stoichea's, where it's literally a unit that you have to call for the same kind of skill. That's just a useless unit afterwards.
Oh look, I have no soul. Let me discard a card, call a Trickster in this. Let me crossover dress and soul charge too.
Yeah, but at least, if you're using this and you're not crossover dressing, at least it's a booster.
You're not wrong.
But the other one's it's a grade 2 10k with vanilla afterwards. This is a dead card.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to some Ketter support. We saw honestly, in my opinion, a rare that should have been at least a double rare. We got Divine Sister Favrnir. She's a grade 1, 6k. Auto when this unit is placed on Rearguard from hand. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, cannabis one, look at top 3 cards of your deck and put it on the top of your deck in any order. This is definitely amazing X-Overdress support, but this is generic, which means it can really go in any deck.
A good example of where this card could be really good is if you use this with the Angel that put a card into your soul to look at the top 3. You can pretty much look and see what you already have when you're going to look at, so you already know what to put into your soul, so you can get a call off of it.
Ooh, you're not wrong. And there's also another one in Hexorb. It's going to be Cannabis Heavy with this combo. It's weird. It's weird. It's a really good card. I can see it played in other Ketter decks outside of Hexorb just because you can kind of look at the top 3 and then depending on what you have and do, let's see here. I don't know Ketter Rich. I'm blanking.
Well, the reason I say that is because I'm pretty sure the video's gone up by now.
Yes.
The video of the Deer Days promo deck. And that deck I was using, just kept blindly putting in. It's like, well, let's see if I can get a, what's his name? Painkiller Angel. Like, well, this, okay, I know I'm not going to get a Painkiller Angel, but I know I'm going to get this. Let's put this instead.
I mean, in that deck, especially, like, if you play this card and you can manage your CB properly, like, you call this, you look at top 3, you say, let's say you see 2 triggers in a normal unit or something. All right, put the normal unit on top of the triggers behind it. Vanguard skill, Cannabis 1, Soul Blast 1, call a card, back row attack it, but then I can draw a card. Now the triggers are on top and you drew that card. Like, there's options, like, stacking the deck and knowing what's on top, you just have variety open up to you easily.
Exactly.
Anyway, moving on for another Ketter card, Force Toll Arrow Dragon. Why does this card look like, what was it, Sanctuary Dragon?
Oh, Vanguard.
Vanguard, yeah. Not a Vanguard effect though. Auto when this unit is put on Guardian Circle if your Vanguard is being attacked. Counter +1 and this unit gets shield 5k until the end of battle for every 2 units on your Vanguard and Rearguard. So at most it can be a 15k shield for a counterblast. I don't know if that's good.
I mean, this just reminds me of the Angel Dragon thing that Bastion usually uses to gain like 20k shield or so.
Yeah, but that one gains 10k shield just because you're a grade 2 or greater and gains 20k shield if you're a grade 4.
Yeah.
For free.
Well, I think there was another card that did the same thing as this, but
there's a Bastion card that says if this one is in the back row center Rearguard, when your Vanguard is attacked, Soul Blast 1 move it, there's Guardian Circle and it's a 15k shield.
No, I'm talking about older. I think it was for every grade 3 unit you had. Every 2 grade 3 units you had to gain 5k shield.
Fair enough.
But this one, you don't have to be grade 3s, but it counts as counterblast instead. So it's like,
And against decks like Gravidia, this is a deck card.
Yeah.
And then the last card to kind of get clumped with these cards in Ketter, we got Impact Knight Maledi. Sure. Auto Rearguard. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and put it on the bottom of their deck. I mean,
it's better than Retire.
I mean, against Nirvana, this is just devastating. But any other deck, it's like, well, it got to hit. That's about it.
Yeah. Might be good against Zorga player. Just kill their Skull Dragons.
You're not wrong. Well, that's been it for set 7, actually. There's a lot of commons and rares probably that are still going to drop into set. They have already gone out. We're not going to cover all of them. Proxies of set 7 are going to be up soon-ish, hopefully, just so I can get some time to just sit down and make all of them. That's going to happen. But between then and between set 7 releasing and Monster Strike currently releasing, and yes, we unfortunately will not be doing any Monster Strike. Sorry to disappoint anybody who was looking forward to that. Alex said it beautifully a second ago.
Yeah, they got a really cool order. They might get a couple new cool, interesting things, but it's still kind of like Took and Rambu in a sense.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Sorry for my strike, but we did see some interesting promos. One of which you already saw the video of. Alex, take away the promo you played from Deer Days.
Sword of Saint, Knight Dragon, Graham Grace. Continuous Vanguard. If your Persona Ride also increases the power of your back row units. So everything gets power.
You're used to this again from Maggie.
Where was... Jesus Christ, yeah. This literally just stole Maggie's effect, that new unit. Act Vanguard once per turn. Cost Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. Draw a card, choose a card from your hand, and call it to a back row and a rear guard. And until end of turn, that unit can attack from the back row and gets power plus 10,000. Oh.
The last effect?
At the end of the battle that your back row and a rear guard attacked, put it into your soul and draw one. Hold on, here's my glasses. I need to clean them. I think I'm seeing inlet pulse, not in a unit.
Yeah, I'm going to still be mad at you for hashtag reading your card because I just realized in the whole video you've been calling and then drawing.
Yeah, I think... Hold on a minute. I think I have the proxies here. I could have sworn when I read that, it said that it was call and draw. Okay, I'm just dyslexic.
I kind of figured. It kind of
clicked
to me when we were doing the video. It's like I thought it was draw and call. That's why I suggested that look at top 3 card because then you can look at top 3, put something that's really good, draw it, and then call it and have it attack. And I'm like, maybe I was wrong.
No, I'm just dyslexic for some reason.
Fucking Christ! All right, tell me what you think of the card after we play test it with it.
This card's great. And it's only going to get better, but yeah, you got a built-in inlet pulse, and the thing that Maggie's been trying to do ever since S7, which is making a Persona Ride do everything all in one card. It's just like, why would you play Maggie now? It's just, you got this.
I mean,
it even gives you multi-attack like Maggie.
You hinted at it beautifully. This card's just going to get more support currently. It does have no ride line and no support dedicated itself. So the deck we built around it was literally Blaster Dart because he's probably the best generic ride line we currently have for Ketter. And a lot of cards that just were searchers, put the hand, draw cards, empty the board, soul charge, like just pieces. And it worked.
But yeah, it's just really good already. And it just shows how good this card is. It already has a good engine in it, and it's only going to get better.
And Jesus, don't let them Persona Ride. Or if they Persona Ride, just strap in. Fuck.
Strap in.
I mean, that's a 20k increase to the columns, and then another 20k increase to the back row attacker, because not only is getting 10k from the first effect, but then 10k from the Persona Ride. So then
they also have a card in set 7 that gives them a guard restrict on top of that. So it's like...
If you Persona Ride, yeah, plus 5k as well. So it's like, you got a Ballador and a lot of power? Fuck.
And they're just getting all the value because of all of the plussing that Ketter has across all of its generic units. So just really good.
There was one card I did want to suggest, but I thought it was not going to fit as well, and maybe it does. There's a grade 2 that was released for Thagria that says if you Persona Ride this turn, it gets 5k, so it's a 15k. But I believe it has a secondary ability that your other cards cannot be chosen as long as he's on the board. So you got to choose him first before you can choose any other card.
Yeah.
So it's like, you still got space to work with, but like we said, there's no support for this card. So right now, it's just throw anything that's generic.
Also, I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole attacking from the back row ability is good and all, but man, you really want to see a Persona Ride in this deck. It is so strong when you Persona Ride with this card.
Speaking of cards that have no support for themselves, and you got to build a whole deck around them. The other promo for Dear Days that dropped with this card, we got Demonic Prison Dragon Emperor Favrnir.
It's supposed to be like a fun pun on Fafnir, but it's Favrnir.
It's supposed to be like Fenrir and Fafnir, but Favrnir. Favrnir. Yeah, there we go. Favrnir.
It's Bushy Road's fun take on, hey, this is what it's supposed to be called. We're going to call it something slightly different, but it's still supposed to be this.
No. It is literally Favrnir because the phonetic Japanese is Favrnir. So it's like Favrnir. Anyway,
Jesus,
effect.
man.
Continuous. You may only have up to one of this card in your deck. So it's an overtrigger.
In your ride line.
Yep. Auto Vanguard. At the beginning of your main phase, your opponent chooses one of their rear guards, retires it. And if you did not ride this turn, this unit gets power 10k critical +1. Auto Vanguard, not once per turn. When your opponent's rear guard is retired during your turn, put a card from hand into soul and draw a card. Auto Vanguard, at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, and this is once per turn, if the sum of grades of your Dark States cards in your soul is 13 or more, +2 stand this unit, and this unit gets drive -1 until the end of turn. So
That's
speaking
a lot
of
of card
monsters,
text.
no joke. I'm very scared to see the English version of this, or even just the normal version of this. Because did you see the English version of Stunverse Reverse? Not Stunverse Reverse. The Norikami Reverse.
Vow and Saber Reverse, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the text box on that bubba in English?
Oh, I know. It was 3/4 of the card.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, merits of this card. It's a 23 double critical on turn 4 on its own, which is already dangerous for a restander. It draws you 3 cards because triple drive technically without minusing. It is Counterblast 2, and you do have to have 13 different grades, some grade 13 in soul. There's no support around it, so it's just hard to build it. Like with the Ketter one, you saw the video. It's like you throw in cards that just help the deck run. I fucking had to throw in grade 4 Bruce because it was like, this is a grade 4. This is gonna help me get to that soul condition faster, and it worked.
I mean, as a weird thing to say about this deck though is I feel like this one's harder to build than the Ketter one because I said it in the video, I think, but the Ketter has as a nation has really good generic support overall. I don't think Dark States has that great generic kind of like foundation for this.
I put as much generic support as I could in there. There is one generic card that I did not want to put into this deck just because he already counterblasts 2, which means unless you see a heal trigger, or you can get the 10 cards in soul, which is legitimately hard with this deck. Unless you put like Pandemonium and stuff like that, but that's more CB. You're only going to get the restanding effect twice a game. So you got to be careful. There is, however, a generic card we covered last week for Dark States that's on place Counterblast 1. Choose anything from your soul, call it to Rearguard, or you can choose a copy of your Vanguard and put it into your hand, and if you put a card into your hand, she gains 5k. I've used her in the other video with the other promo, Great Dragon. And she's a really good card. She's a 1 for 2, call something out of soul. But the problem in this deck is not only do you take cards out of your soul, they might hurt your 13 count, but it's also a CB and it's Counterblast 2 Vanguard deck.
See, I have a funny theory on the support, how it's going to be built around this deck, just off of its second effect.
Why, the whole retire?
No. Because you have the retire, right? But then also says if you did not ride this turn. So I'm assuming that all of the support card is going to be like, if you did not ride this turn, do this. If you did not ride this turn, do this. Because you only have one copy of your Vanguard.
That'd be cool.
So you're not going to ride.
A thing I want to mention about these 2 Deer Day promos, yes, they are coming. If you didn't know this, they're coming in the physical copy of the game as, you know, here, you bought the game, you get this inside type deal. I honestly don't know if this is going to be the true for English or if we're even going to get a physical copy of the English case. I would think we should, but I have honestly no clue. If anybody knows, please leave it in the comments down below.
I'll be very upset if we don't.
I know, right? But the thing I do want to point out is the wiki, as well as rumors I've heard, say that either both of these or one of these cards is going to be in boost set 8.
I think, the Ketter one is, because it already says here on the wiki.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it doesn't say for the Dark States one. He might be boost set 9 for all I know, but if these 2 cards, let's say these 2 cards are in boost set 8, that's going to be a really good move on Bushiroad's end because boost set 8 currently already has 5 ride lines announced inside of it, which is a lot. But 3 of those are encounters and 2 of them are new. And then we have a lot of support for the lore sets. So now that I say it out loud, please don't put this in boost sets 8. There's not enough space.
I mean, it would essentially mean that if they do it this way, right? The encounters will be triple rares. These will be triple rares. And then they'll get one more triple rare for the Dual Nations. And that's
Look at it this way. If they do put even one of them in boost set 8 as a ride line, that's going to be 6 ride lines in a set. And the only other set that did that was Lyrical. And that was a whole nation. So you could put cards that were generic inside there.
Dragon Empire is not going to get anything because we already know all 3 of its triple rares.
Yeah. So you got to understand, like, you got a Dragon Empire ride line, a Brentgate ride line. Let's say they put both of them, Dark States and Ketter. And then you got another Ketter. And then you got another Dark States. And then you got a Slovakia ride line. So there's 7 ride lines. And then you're also supporting the lore sets with at least 1 or if not 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of cards in one set.
Yeah, I don't know. I know for a fact that the Ketter one is inside of the set 8.
Well, luckily we are getting set 8 news next week, so hopefully that's gonna lift the curtain and help us understand. But until we get set 8 and the lore cards,
Oh, I was gonna say, I do want to say one thing though, is if the characters are gonna be using these cards, these promos in the game, that means that you have to have a ride deck and everything, which means they have to have support. It's gonna be weird if it's not in set 8 for the Dragon guy.
I'm gonna laugh if the characters in the anime actually use the ride lines we use in our videos because there's no support for the cards. But
you never know.
Speaking of the lore set and boost set 8, just like with every other lore set, getting a super stupid promo, as you saw with that Tamayura video, fuck that. Thagria was last but not least, and she also got an amazing promo herself, ain't that right?
Yeah, it's strong. I don't know if it's amazing, but it's really good.
Well, we'll test. We haven't tested it out. We gotta test it out yet. But Alex, what does it do?
Oath of Revenge, Thagria. Man, when you talk about the lore stories, this is a hilarious card. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Thagria as card name. Continuous in your order zone, this is the set order. If you have a Vanguard with Thagria in its card name, you draw 2 cards instead of 1 for a Persona ride and increase your power to 15 instead of 10.
So it's a better Persona ride.
So just upgrade your Persona ride.
I can see putting 3 copies of this in the deck. You only need 1.
You don't, because it doesn't stack.
No.
Sadly.
But the reason you put 3 in is because if you do see others later down the road, all of Thagria's effects when you Persona ride are a ditch. So at least you got ditch targets.
Yeah. On top of that, it's like you're just plussing so hard to your hand because Thagria already pluses to the board.
No, hold the phone. You keep talking. I need to check something.
But yeah, every Thagria Persona rides. So every time you do all your stuff, it's like I'm gonna draw 2. I'm gonna draw 2. I'm gonna draw 2. You're plussing every time you ride up. And on top of that, your Thagria Gray, I think the light version also pluses you 2 to your board.
Fuck.
Uh-huh.
I was like, hold up. Brain's working. Cogs are turning. Grade 2 ride line Thagria's ability. When this unit is rolled upon for grade 3 Thagria in his card name, look at 5 cards of your top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with Thagria or Maple in its card name from among them.
Oh, so it can search the order.
You can actually look at top 5 and you see the order. You can add the order to your hand.
Well, that just got dramatically different. There's a good chance you're definitely going to have it on first grade 3.
I'm still saying you need to play minimum 3. If your game plan is to see it, you need to run minimum 3 because you can kind of work with 2. But if you don't really
want to see it on your first grade 3 turn, you don't want to see it later because then it's like, well, I wasted a Persona ride.
Exactly. Not everybody is as lucky as you and sees all of their broken toys before they even hit grade 3. Anyway, with that being said, that's actually been it for the leaks. Like we mentioned, we're not going to be touching Monster Strike. But there's a couple of extra bits of news that I do want to mention here towards the end. But before that, if you're interested in buying any of the cards we just mentioned, go check out Triple Sleeve TCG.
They got great deals on singles, clan splits, and even cases. So go check out the website.
Link will be in the description. All right, what is the news? There's actually not a lot of news. There is the fact that we did mention Booster Set 8, and we did actually get a English date for Booster Set 8, which is February 3rd. So
that is, crossing fingers if it doesn't get delayed.
Why you gotta jinx it already?
Look, man, I just have a feeling for these things, man, and it's
anyway,
a trend that's been happening.
Speaking of sets, the way we got to look at it now, Japan has just got Booster Set 7 and Booster Set 6. Here in English, we're still waiting for Booster Set 6. We're 2 sets behind, which is not ideal, but we do get Booster Set 6 in October, and then we get Booster Set 7 in December 16th. So we're quite a ways away. And then you look at Booster Set 8, we get it in February. There is Lyrical Set 3 in between, but still, we're getting farther and farther away from the Japanese release schedule, which is my worry.
I do think that we're going to see in between Booster Set 8 and 7, we're going to see Monster Strike for English.
I doubt it. It's not a problem of will we, won't we. It's a problem of IP and copyright.
I understand that, but at the same time, it's like where they did the whole Shaman King 2 sets into 1.
Yeah.
They can probably do Monster Strike the same way. As if they can get the IP between now and then, they can do Monster Strike 1 and 2 into 1 set.
If they figure it out legally, then yes, I can see them putting Monster Strike 1 and 2 into 1 set just like that Shaman King so that we don't have to wait even longer.
Exactly.
But first, I need to figure it out legally.
But I will say, for Booster Set 9, they need to like prioritize getting it out faster than they probably are. So we can. It's
coming out fast enough in Japan, I do believe. Like the spaces between sets is good. It's just here on the English side, like you gotta understand, like September 30th, this thing dropped in Japan, and we're getting in December.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I meant. Like on the English side, it needs to come out faster than them waiting 2 or 3 months. Like it'd be like, all right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and push it forward so we can catch up.
I haven't said this in a while, but dude, you do realize the only reason we are doing proxies on this fucking channel is because of the release schedule?
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a point to do proxies if we got the same day releases because we can actually buy the physical cards and play them.
Oh, no. Well, I'm not saying like have a same day release, but get us back until like a month behind at least.
That too. I'm taking the extreme, but yeah, I do want at least a month in between because this is a good example. We get set 6 and set 7 in Japan, and we haven't even got set 6 over here. We're gonna start seeing leaks for set 8 before we even got set 6.
Like I'm gonna blink, and before I even get the time to play Tempest, we're gonna see seeing what the new youth perk does.
Pretty much. It's like I haven't even gotten Tempest in my hand, and I'm already testing this new one out.
I mean, it's gonna hurt their sales eventually because it's gonna be like, well, why should I buy this if I know this better card's gonna be coming down the road?
Anyway, the only other bit of news to end this little video on is the fact that because we're not doing Monster Strike, V-Time is going to take a pause until we can start seeing more prominent leaks. Sorry to say that to Monster Strike. But in between that gives us a chance. We're going to do a Thagria video real quick. And then after Thagria, we're bringing back Nation Fights. We're doing Nation Fights again. Mm-hmm. And this time around, because we have so many rad lines, we're going to double up.
It's going to be fun.
Says the man enthusiastically.
Fun. Oh, it's going to be fun for me because for once, I'm not going to be on the camera of all these. I'm going to be on some of them, but I get to take a backseat, hopefully, a little bit.
And you don't get to take any pity on me for having to be on every single one of them.
Look, man, if I had a bigger space, like, I would do it. I would jump in and be like, all right, cool. We're recording some of these and then we're going to have some weird remote ones here and there. But
exactly. Like until we can get a proper space again in America where we can set everything up, there's not going to be physical recordings and everything's going to have to be done remotely like this. And until someone else in our group gets their setup set up, the only 2 people that actually have the proper setup is me and Alex. So Gonna see our faces mostly, but now nation fights are gonna bring the crew back a little bit. I know Hector's gonna be excited for some of them, and Connor's gonna have some headaches playing some of them.
And Shane's gonna be having fun too.
Yee. Anyway, that has been it. Wow, a 30-minute beat time. I haven't seen those in a while.
I know, right?
Anyway, we're gonna end this episode here, unless Alex has something else to add.
No, I think that's pretty much it. Deer Days is hopefully coming in about a month. If you guys want to see gameplay of that, me and Philip will both be on our channels, be playing that. Yes, that means that On the Past Podcast is actually going to do something again for the first time in a while. I've been trying to get things built up behind the scenes, but yes, it's been a work in progress.
I'm just gonna do a normal ye old classic playthrough of it and just go part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm just gonna go through the story.
I'm gonna do that too, but I'm also gonna be doing a lot of hopefully what do you call it?
Remote fights?
Like remote fights over Deer Days, because I feel like having remote fights over Deer Days is gonna be more fun than
also I believe it's not
and
crossplay, so Switch and PC users are gonna have to bundle up. Oh, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Luckily for me, like everybody in our group has a Switch, so.
And I will be buying one regretfully. Look, man, they don't like Macs, all right? Anyway, with that being said, we're going to end this episode here. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching episode 148 of Beat Time. If you liked the episode, please like, share with your friends. Comment down below what you think of the Deer Days promos, and are you excited for the game coming out? Other than that, if you like what we do here, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell to get notified. Maybe even follow us on Twitter, join us on Discord, watch us on Twitch, or maybe even, like us on Facebook. But with that, I've been Philip.
This is Alex.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Woo! I have no idea what to put here at the end.
Thumbnail, Deer Days promos.
Oh, before that, I'm gonna put this at the beginning.